The dark side of Oprah Winfrey has just been exposed. G'day guys, it's Holy Critics signing in and welcome back to the channel once again for another one of my juicy rants on a person that I'm not a real big fan of. If you saw my previous video on Oprah regarding her interview with the ex-royals Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, you'll know that I consider Oprah to be either incredibly gullible and naive, or a ruthless sociopathic narcissist. Because her interview was so fawning, so sycophantic, that she didn't do her basic job as an interviewer, which is to ask follow-up questions. She just accepted whatever Meghan Markle told her about her so-called racist treatment that she received back in England. But that's a side topic. Today, I want to talk about a new controversy, which has just cropped up on the horizon. And this article is going to go into it. And you're going to understand why I'm weighing up whether she is one of those two things, either gullible or sociopathic. Because she has a long track record, and I'm not even just talking about her celebrity interviews, just in the people that she associates with, the advice that she gives her audience. And you'll begin to see a pattern as this video goes along. So, high-profile actress Rose McGowan has called Oprah Winfrey out on her Twitter, claiming the talk show host's support of the Me Too movement is fake and hypocritical. In her scathing tweet, the charmed star said it was about time people saw the ugly side of Oprah. McGowan posted her comments alongside a photo of Winfrey, now 67, kissing the cheek of disgraced film producer and convicted rapist Harvey Weinstein. Known for her open and courageous struggle with her own experiences of sexual assault in the entertainment industry, McGowan went on to criticize Winfrey even more strongly, stating, "From being pals with Weinstein to abandoning and destroying Russell Simon's victims, she is about supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come. #lizard. Wow. Very scathing indeed. And there's the picture in question. Reading on. The growing list of women who claim sexual misconduct by Weinstein grew exponentially in 2019, serving as the catalyst for the Me Too movement in Hollywood. Weinstein was convicted in early 2020 of raping a once aspiring actress in a New York City hotel room in 2013 and forcibly performing oral sex on a former TV and film production assistant, Mimi Haley, at his apartment in 2006. He was sentenced to 23 years in prison, which, if I'm not mistaken, he was released because of the risk of coronavirus. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, McGowan also draws attention to Winfrey's relationship with Russell Simons, 63. It seems that Winfrey has signed up to executive produce a documentary about Simons' history of alleged sexual misconduct. Winfrey eventually pulled out of the project as the mud thrown at the music executive continued to stick. At the time she withdrew from the documentary, Winfrey cited creative differences, saying, "I have decided that I will no longer be executive producer on the untitled Kirby Dick and Amy Zering documentary, and it will not air on Apple Television. I want it to be known that I unequivocally believe and support the women. Their stories deserve to be told and heard. In my opinion, there is more work to be done on the film to illuminate the full scope of what the victims endured, and it has become clearer that the filmmakers and I are not aligned in that creative vision." McGowan is clearly not convinced with Oprah's track record of questionable questions of vulnerable celebrities, and she may have a point. But that's not the only thing. There are literally dozens and dozens of websites who have compiled all the Oprah Winfrey controversies throughout the years. In this case, they've actually created a top 10 list. There's more than this. They've just created a highlights reel of controversies that I'm going to discuss with you. But before I do, what it highlights to me is that you can claim she's naive, you can claim that she's gullible, and there's certainly instances of that, but would someone this naive and gullible be such an habitual offender? To me, that starts to point towards more nefarious intent. But we'll read on. This is one of the older controversies, but hear me out here. During the height of the mad cow scare in 1996, Oprah invited Howard Lyman, a cattle rancher turned vegetarian, onto her show to discuss controversial practices within the beef industry, including a process now banned in the US called rendering, which involves turning cow organs into feed for other cattle. While Winfrey challenged some of Lyman's more outlandish statements, she actually pushed back for once, which included the suggestion that the disease could become as infectious as AIDS. I wonder if that happened. She exclaimed at one point that his revelations had stopped me cold from eating another hamburger. Beef prices promptly plunged for nearly 2 weeks after the episode aired, eventually reaching a 10-year low. In response, a group of angry cattle ranchers in Texas filed a $10 million lawsuit claiming she defamed the entire industry. They lost. Free speech not only lives, it rocks, Oprah told reporters in February 98 after Amarillo, Texas jury ruled in her favor. I'm still off hamburgers. So free speech. She hides behind free speech. Of course, you don't hear her defending it today in the age of wokeness and cancel culture. But okay, that might be an isolated example. What else is there? Well, there's this case. Don't lie to Oprah. James Frey learned this lesson the hard way when he presented A Million Little Pieces, his embellished memoir, as fact. Touched by Frey's supposedly true story of substance abuse and redemption, Oprah made Pieces an official book club selection in 2005. The following January, The Smoking Gun published a detailed account of the book's inaccuracies, including the fact that Frey never served jail time, as he claimed in the book. Embarrassed, Oprah called the author back on the show and delivered a very public scolding. I have to say it is difficult for me to talk to you, she told her sheepish guest. I feel really duped. Frey's publisher, Nan Talese, also appeared on the show, admitting that Doubleday had not done anything to verify his story. Because of the scandal, Frey's literary agent dropped him and his 2-book deal, worth 7 figures, was voided. Needless to say, his next book, published in 2008, was clearly labelled fiction. So, again, she doesn't do her research. As an interviewer, she just accepts whatever she's told. And that was the same case over a decade later in the Meghan Markle and Harry interview, which shows that she hasn't evolved as a person over those years. She still sticks to the salacious. Moving on. Oh, and this one, everybody knows this one, The Secret, right? Well, hear this one out. It's not as if Oprah created the theory behind the best-selling self-help book The Secret, written by New Age guru Rhonda Byrne. But by promoting it on 2 episodes of her show, she may have given it a dangerous level of credence. The book's central premise, the law of attraction, is that positive thinking is the route to obtaining what you want in life, while negative thoughts will cause bad events to occur. But when Oprah's producers received a letter from Kim Tinkham, who had received a breast cancer diagnosis shortly after the shows aired, they were alarmed by how far she had taken the inspiration. Tinkham wrote that she had decided to forego chemotherapy, instead choosing to follow the book's advice literally. Oprah brought Tinkham onto the show to set her straight and urge her not to ignore all the advances of medical science, just some, right, Oprah? Tinkham, who went on to follow another New Age regime laid out in a book called PH Miracle, died in December 2010. Ultimately, Oprah stood by her position that the law of attraction can affect positive change. Another fad that came and went, and Oprah jumped on the bandwagon because she saw money in it, and she probably sold a few books. I'm sure she put it on her website, of course, and people died as a result. Of course, her conscience is clear. I mean, she didn't write the thing, but she certainly pushed it to the moon, so to speak, because I never would have heard about it unless she promoted it. And lastly, the last major controversy, and this is where it borders on criminal, her sponsorship of sexual predators. You know, Harvey Weinstein, Simmons, and now this one. When the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls opened in Johannesburg in 2007, Nelson Mandela, Tina Turner, Sidney Poitier, Spike Lee, and Oprah herself attended a lavish ribbon-cutting ceremony celebrating the landmark boarding school, founded with $40 million of Oprah's own money. Blood money, more like it. But less than a year later, 6 of the 152 students who had been personally selected by Oprah to attend the institution came forward to accuse dorm matron Virginia Tiny Magobo of sexual and physical abuse. Magobo pleaded not guilty, and her trial is still ongoing. "It has shaken me to my core," Winfrey said of returning to South Africa with a team of private detectives to investigate the allegations and personally speak with the girls. "This has been one of the most devastating, if not the most devastating experiences of my life." But as one Johannesburg newspaper observed, the abuse scandal that has rocked Oprah Winfrey's South African School for Girls does not reflect badly on the famous talk show host. It reflects badly on the nation. And a pattern begins to emerge, doesn't it? One controversy after the next, year after year, and she never seems to learn her lesson. She just kind of bumbles and stumbles her way through all of these, and yet remains bald-faced in her approach. Is she really riddled with guilt for what she's done? Giving toxic advice to people? Sending kids to a school where they got exposed to horrible abuse? Promoting falsehoods? And the list goes on. Maybe she really is a bad person. But then again, Oprah wasn't a survivor of abuse herself. So this could be a case of flawed by design, perhaps. But I'll let you be the decider of that. Please share your thoughts in the comments below about your feelings towards Oprah Winfrey. In my case, it's complicated. But anyway, make sure you drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, because I really appreciate your support for the channel, and enjoy the rest of your day. This is Holy Critic, signing out.